Hi, this is Ron Tube. Today on the Hunter Call of the Wild, we're making a moose guide for Medved Taiga. Now, with the recent update and the moose great ones added, everyone's out hunting moose. Now, if you're hunting on New England mountains, I made a moose guide for that already, but today we're doing Medved Taiga because a lot of people are hunting it, including me, for the great one moose. So I'm going to go over my tactics, locations, my best spots, times to hunt them. I'm using the 300 rifle along with a 308 for secondary knockdowns, but the 300 is what I mainly use to take down the moose. So just use any ethical rifle for the moose, which you think is the best, and the 300 is really good for them. So we're going to go over all the locations where moose are and where moose aren't. So this is the river system. They're all along this frozen coastline. It's a long way, right? So if you're going to walk this, it's going to take you a long time. So this is why you add tents if you're going to hunt this area in between need zones. It saves you a lot of time. You can just jump straight to them. Even just walking between these tents takes quite a while. And the thing with grinding for the great one moose, or just hunting moose in general, it's all about efficiency. So you don't want to waste time. You want to get as much moose per run in the shortest amount of time, basically. And that's what you're trying to do. You try and optimize your grind. So as you can see, I've got all these zones along the coastline. They're not near the ice rafts. They're where the tree line meets the start of the ice. So just in case, it saves you a lot of time. And if you've not been on Medved Taiga before, you're just starting your grind, it's a good little tip and it'll save you a lot of time. So hop in between the tents, look at the zones, pick off your male moose. Now, some people won't know which levels to shoot of the moose. So you're going to shoot males. You want to leave 2s and 1s alone. Do not shoot them. And shoot 3, 4s and 5s. If you want to stack diamonds, leave the 5s alone and just shoot 3s and 4s. And gradually what will happen is you'll get loads of 4s and 5s. And they'll just gradually build. And you'll get loads of 2s. That's what will happen. When you've got loads of 2s, then you know it's working well. And gradually you'll get diamond spawn, and you can stack them if you want, that's up to you, or you can shoot them, and then at some point a great one will spawn. There is no magic number, it just comes when it comes, but herd management does help, I think, get them quicker. So this lake is one of my favorite lakes. This has got a lot of moose. Now you might be wondering why I've got a tent on the corner. The reason is those 2 zones on the left are females. So I know they're not going to change or nothing really get added. So I spawn in there. I've got enough distance between the next zone. And basically I walk around the pond shooting the males. There's normally about 5 or 6 males on there, which can shoot. This 2 ponds underneath, very good as well. I'll go over my favourite zones where moose are in a minute. But as you can see, I've got tents in between ponds at equal distances. So when there's 2 or 3 ponds, put a tent in between. Now this lake is very interesting. I've got a tent on either side because of the render distance. Moose can be on either side of the pond. So you flip over and back, see if moose spawn. Because you might not see them because of render. So that's why you go each side. But the thing is, there's a secret ice lake which doesn't show, as you can see. And there is quite a few moose in this area. So it's a good area to hunt. So as you see, I've got my tent in between that lake and the secret lake, which doesn't show. So it's sort of equal distance, roughly. And then I can go and check that afterwards. And then walk down to this little pond, which has also got quite a few moose at. So it's a good little location, that is. So most areas have actually got moose. That one hasn't. The middle small few ponds, right in the middle on the ridges in the middle, they haven't got moose either. And there's a couple of little lakes down the bottom left, which haven't either. Remember, right, initial spawns and as you start grinding may be different, and this is why I've waited to do this guide, because some people's got guides that where they've done them off initial zones and they change. So they'll show you lakes where they might be and they're not actually there after you've started grinding. So you have to bear that in mind. Your zones may change and locations may change, but I'm quite a way into my grind now and these locations are staying. So that's why I waited a little bit to stick this out. So as you can see, this area, quite a few moose. There's no correct way of doing it. Just do what works for you, right? I'm just showing you areas where moose are, my technique of how I'm hunting them. You can adapt it to your style and make it work better for you. And that's what I always say. Take a little bit out of what people show you and then make it work for you with your gameplay style. So as you've just seen, you've got a river that runs up the middle. I've got a tent and a tripod. You can walk up there and walk around the lake, or you can walk around the lake and walk down the river. It doesn't really matter how you do it, but it's a really good set of locations. This location really isn't worth doing. There's not really that many zones there. So just every now and again, I just check it, just in case the great ones spawned. And that's why I've got the tents up the top as well. I don't really hunt that river system much. It takes too much time. I can get more moose per run hunting the ponds. But you still need to check these zones just in case something nice spawns there. So that's why I've got the tents there. So every now and again, after a few runs, I can just go and check just to make sure there isn't a great one sitting there. So the drinking need zone time is 12 till 4. Sometimes you can go a bit after and they still might be there. So you can allow up to 30 minutes. Allow for the moose travelling to these locations. I know it starts at 12, but I always start about 1:15, 1:30. And then I know the moose will be at all these locations. I use the 300 for the main killing. If it's a trophy moose, I'll use the 300. Sometimes I'll have the 308 ready, so you can follow up another shot on, say, like a 3 moose or a 4 moose, as long as it's not a trophy. And you can fire off 2 quick shots with a 308, and that's why I do that. We ideally could do with a proper moose gun, like a 3 mag or 5 mag 338 or something like that. The 300 is good. The best shot for them is front on, low chest, heart shot, they drop instantly, or they'll run literally a few feet. If you're not going to do that, shoot side on, broadside if you can't take the front shot, in between the armpit crease, right? And you'll get at least a single lung, and they'll run 200, 300 meters. But when you keep doing that, it takes time to go and track them down and collect. And I collect all my moose. Some people don't. People ask whether you have to collect. You can if you want, it's up to you, but I collect all my animals when I'm doing the Great One grinding. So while I've been waffling away telling you all the details to do with moose on Medved, the locations, now I know you want to know detailed exactly where they are and where they aren't and where's my favourite locations. So now I'm going to show you an image I've made, because I've checked every location, where they are, where they aren't, and where my favourite locations are on this image, so you can't be confused and you know exactly where to go. So if you just want to pause this, take a picture, there you go. So all the white areas are where moose are, where they can be found. The red areas are where moose aren't. There's not many lakes where moose aren't, as you can see. In the middle there's a few little ponds, and down the bottom there's 2 ponds there. I've got must deer at those, but no moose locations. So nice and simple. This is why I make these guides as they are. You can't really get them wrong. All the white areas are where moose are. Red areas, there ain't no moose. And the yellow areas, if you wonder what they are, they're my favourite areas to hunt moose. So give them a try. Like I say, remember to put your tents equal distance between different ponds that's got moose. Optimising your grind on the fly is a thing, and like I say, you'll adjust things as you do it to suit yourself better. But the main time consumer is actually travelling to locations and actually picking up moose. And that's why some people don't pick up moose. But whether that works or not for the Great One grind is up for debate. I always collect all my animals. So 300, start at 1, 1:15, visit moose locations. Chest shot, go for about a centimetre up from the bottom chest with a 300. That should kill in 1 shot if you do it right. Broadside, in between the front leg armpit crease, will get a single lung. They'll run about 200, 300 meters. You want to be shooting 3, 4s and 5s. Leave 5s if you want to stack for diamonds, or leave diamonds. Do not shoot 2s or 1s. So that's nice and simple. We've gone over the locations, what to use, where to shoot them, how to shoot them. I hope that helps you out. This has been a Medved Taiga moose guide. Let me know if you get a Great One moose. Good luck all of you. I'm Ron McTube. Please subscribe to my YouTube channels, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.